Welcome back to Lawn Dude Unearth, where we like to dive into whatever topic comes to mind each and every week. Every week we have an installment on mental health because it's important, man. You got to check on your people. You got to check on your people and have your people check on you. It is important, man. It's important to me that we continue to have discussions on mental health because it's just not talked about enough. Now we're going to cue the intro. I like to go ahead and take care of these pleasantries for all those who power Lawn Dude Unearth and help us to bring this content to you each and every week. Now, if you're looking for a high quality, eco-conscious apparel that reps your passion for the outdoors, you need to check out Finprint Apparel. And don't forget to use our code, man, DUDE10. Once again, DUDE10 at checkout will save you 10%. Again, that's Finprint Apparel. They will give you a good little splash on your uniforms. If you haven't checked out our video of how different our uniforms are, go check it out right now, either on YouTube or Instagram. Also, I'd like to go ahead and shout out the fact that we're powered by Petra Tools, who is bringing you top-tier equipment to keep your lawn game strong. Whether you need sprayers, various lawn landscape products, or battery-powered solutions, Petra Tools has you covered. And they also have like mulch glue, and they got the lawn paint. They got a little bit of everything, man. Just go check out their website. Support the brands that support us, man. These are the brands that support Lawn Dude Unearth. I like to keep growing as a company, as a podcast. So I definitely have no problem shouting out those who decided to give us the opportunity. And we beyond appreciate it. What's going on? Welcome back to Lawn Dude Unearth. Right quick, I'm going to do a quick little shout out to the Mo Trapping Podcast. Appreciate you guys for having me on to your podcast this past Tuesday. If you like to listen to the Mo Trapping Podcast, be sure to tune in. Every Tuesday night they go live. I believe at 8 CST. See, I'm on Eastern Standard Time, so for us it's 9 o'clock when they start. I will say that next time I'm on y'all's show, I'll make sure I'm in a better lit environment, and we'll have better sound, and hopefully my phone doesn't keep overheating like it did then. So that's my shout out to them, Boneyard and Crawley. And now we're going to get into the show tonight, man. What brought me up to that shout out was the fact that I thought about something that, Boneyard actually asked me. He thinks I'm an originator. He said he feels like I'm like the originator of the Shadowbanned. And how do I feel about that? And why do I feel like that's the case? So, I never spoke on this before, but topics like the topic I'm going to have tonight is why I feel like I go through some of these situations. So, tonight my topic is me being real vulnerable and straight up and keeping it 100 with y'all and giving you the real deal Holyfield as I always do. That's all I know how to do. And I feel like this is the reason why a lot of my stuff doesn't get pushed out. My podcast doesn't get the most numbers. I've been on YouTube for over 10 years and have literally spit free game on being in this business. Literally spit free game on what mistakes to try not to make because I've made them. And yet my stuff doesn't get pushed out. Yet I don't even have over 1,000 subs on YouTube because my stuff will forever not receive the algorithm because it's the stuff that nobody wants to hear about. It's the stuff that nobody wants to see. Everybody wants me to literally just show pictures of my equipment and trucks and so on and so forth. But when I show the struggles, I've seen the numbers. It doesn't get as many views. It doesn't get as many listens. So, like, for example, my podcast right now, man, is basically about staying the course and keeping your head up and staying strong, man. Keeping your faith strong. Knowing that God will put his toughest soldiers through the toughest challenges, through the most challenges. Even when sometimes you feel like you're not the toughest soldier. I can speak to this because that is how I've been feeling right now, this moment. This past week has been beyond challenging. I know a lot of people will sweep it under the rug. They'll keep smiling, acting like everything's great. Everything's all good and kosher. Well, you know what? I'm not here to be that guy. So while I'm in this truck talk on a Friday where it's raining real time, I'm going to speak straight facts, man. I'm going to keep it 100. So let me tell you a little bit as to what I've been dealing with this week, man. This week, I've been literally beating myself up. Pause. Because I'm upset with some of the financial decisions I've made over the years. But when I sit down and I, dive into what investments we've made over the years, they all honestly make sense. It's like, for example, truck. We needed the trucks that we got. Some people would say, do you really need a Ram 2500, with the Cummings and the Mega Cab? Yes. Need the Cummings for the dump trailer. I've done pulled some heavy loads. I've done pulled loads of rock. Snow plowing. I've compared it to a gas Hemi, like plowing directly next to one. And I keep going, push through the pile effortlessly while the Hemi has to stop halfway through the distance when the pile gets real big. Make cab. It's also my personal vehicle, so, the kids, their sports gear, everything. This makes sense. Maintenance truck. Tried to avoid it, had to do it, because the box truck kept staying down. Kept staying in the shop. For example, my mechanic has literally been gone like the last 3 months, 2-3 months. He gets in his RV, he rolls out. So that leaves me high and dry if I need him to work on the truck. So, for example, something would have happened to that box truck, like right after he left, that truck would still be sitting up at his shop waiting for him whenever he gets back. And who knows when that is. It's not like he communicates when he's going to be gone or how long. I don't think he knows. I don't think he really cares because he's at that age where it's like he wants to enjoy his time. So he wants to be gone, for a week, cool. If he wants to be gone for, half a year, then cool. And I get that. I just need a contingency plan, for the things that I can't work on myself. Even the things I can work on, time becomes a factor because it's about what I'm best at investing my time in. Or at the time, if that makes sense. All the various pieces of equipment, I'm not even gonna lie to you, there are times when I thought, man, I wish I could have kept the stuff that I had to wrench on, but you know what, that peace of mind of being reliable, getting into fields that we never would have honestly been able to get into without having to rent or something like that has been great. Has been great. It's like the mini skid. That thing can literally sit for a couple months and then go out and do two jobs in 1 month that will justify it for sitting for the amount of months it's at. So I was really beating myself up with some of these financial situations. More so because one thing I will be completely clear on with everyone is a credit line. If you get a credit line, man, I really strongly recommend that you make sure that that sucker is monthly. I actually had one company approve us, and it was, if you want to know the name of that, I will tell you the name of it. Just send me a message. But for the sake of this being the wrong platform for me to, reveal that, I'm not going to tell you the name of the company that I have the credit line with. Either which way, they only do weekly payments. And it's a decent amount that they did approve us for. But because the interest on that and the payment, I'm not going to say it's terrible, but when cash flow is tough in business, it makes it feel like it's terrible. So, to give you full context, here's what happens in our industry. You do these high-paying jobs, you do commercial jobs, right? You send them a invoice because, of course, commercials are the one group of people that don't have credit card on file. So you send them an invoice, and they, even if the contract states that they pay by a certain time, they still drag their doggone feet on payment. And you still have expenses. So what do? Do you let your account go negative, or do you hit that credit line? For me, 9 out of 10 times, I'm hitting the credit line. And by the time that payment finally comes in, you need that payment to cover something else completely different, and you still have, that credit line balance right there. So that happens. Wham, bam, laid it out. So I got frustrated, and it's really hard. It's really hard for me to have this conversation on a podcast, man, let alone having this conversation out loud. I've said this to a couple people over the last few days. So I finally had to get past my pride, and straight up just ask people for help. Tell people I do need help for the situation I'm in. So I reached out to the number one finance organization I deal with and just said, hey, I had a couple commercial, clients fall through. Is there anything that you guys offer so that it's less strain on the cash flow? You know what I'm saying? So there was that. There was that whole process. And then there was also the process of let me regain my thought there. I'm driving right now as we speak. But yeah, I feel like just running a business, you always have different challenges like that. Keeping your cash flow on hand. When it comes to the residentials, it's really simple. You require a credit card on file. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. You keep it pushing. Commercial has always been complicated for the simple fact that there's really no commercials out there that do credit cards. Pretty much every commercial that you find out here does checks. And this makes it really complicated sometimes. You know what I mean? But it also gets to the point of, what can you really do? Sitting around crying about it doesn't get you anywhere. And believe me, I've had my moments, People always want to hear about, oh, what did the big burly tough man do? You know what I mean? Did he go and eat some nails for breakfast? Or, you know what I mean? Did he go out there and have a couple drinks and, keep it pushing? Nah, man. See, this is another reason why I feel like, the Shadowbanned thing might be a factor when it comes to me. I will straight up sit here and tell you, I cried out to God, and I mean cried out to God. I'm in the maintenance truck, crying out to God about everything, and just, tell him I trust him, because my way has got me to where I'm at now. You know what I mean? Like, I need to move when he wants me to move. Not before, not after, when he wants me to move. Need to be patient, wait for him. So, I had all that going on, it's really just head trash, if I'm going to be completely 100 with you. So I'm dealing with that head trash, and I literally rescheduled my whole entire Monday route for today, Friday, the 27th of June, 2025, to provide context. And my wife's birthday is Monday, June 30th. So I was originally surprising her. I rescheduled this schedule, weeks ago, so that I could be off. And I even emailed all the clients, told them I'll be out tomorrow instead. I had clients saying, hey, be sure to tell her happy birthday, so on and so forth, right? I'm like, cool. So I go out today. Rained real hard last night, stormed even. And I'm just sitting here like, all right. It's doing a little mist thing, but then the mist stopped. I got 2 properties done this morning after dropping my son off at summer school. And look, would you have it that it started pouring right now? I mean pouring. I took all the stuff off my truck, the mowers, for the next stop. And it just started pouring. And now I'm sitting here like, wow, okay, no problem, wait it out. I go to another area that I had to service. Hadn't rained yet, so I'm like, all right, cool. Started pouring there. And everywhere I went, it started pouring. So after a while, I'm like, let me just wait out the house. So real time, it is 12:30 in the afternoon. At this point, I've already decided I guess I'm in for today. So, honestly, weather, it doesn't really faze me like that. It happens. You actually need the rain to keep working. What completely frustrated me was just everything on top of everything. Like, this literally came at a time when I'm already like upset and just going through a time. We all go through these times in business. We all have our frustrations. It's always a different challenge to find a solution for. It's always a different faith walk with God, but you got to trust him. You got to trust him. You got to, really stay the course. Keep doing what you're doing. Well, or in my case, don't keep doing what you're doing, make a change. So while I was in the house, I literally changed how my estimates are getting sent out. My follow-ups, I have follow-ups for estimates and payments. I now have those more active to ensure we get quicker payments. I changed the wording in all of those to ensure we get quicker payments. Same with the estimates. I changed the follow-ups for those. I basically restructured my whole estimate follow-up and payment follow-up system just with the little time that I was, waiting out the rain when I thought I was still going out. And now I also been doing accounts receivable, because it's people that owe, realistically. So I say all that to say, we go through different challenges. We go through crap. But what do? Quit? Trust me. I'll go ahead and tell you the truth. Like I said, I don't even know how if this podcast makes it out, because I am really laying it out there in this podcast and telling you thoughts that are going through my head. The head trash, man. I seen a county job pop up for our area. And trust me, I always wanted this county job before I went full time. You get full benefits with the county. I have all the experience. The only thing I didn't have in the past was Class A CDL, which I do have now. And they're paying pretty decently. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. I looked at that a job and I was like, man, and the hours are only from 7 to 3, 7 to 3 every day. I could do that. Is what I'm sitting here thinking. So, trust me, it was super appealing to me. Benefits and all that. I love running a business, but hey, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Sometimes it'd be nice to work that 9 to 5, clock in, clock out. But once again, question is, how happy will you be in that situation? And I still find myself asking that question sometimes. I love what I do. That's the thing. But what I don't love is all the extra crap that you sometimes deal with. But you gotta, once again, stay up out of your head. Stop letting your mind, be covered with trash. Keep your faith strong in God. And know that everything will be alright. Now, I might have to go out tomorrow on Saturday, so on and so forth. God has a big plan for me. I'm telling you that right now because there is no way I would be going through all this if he did not have a plan. I know he has a plan. And I 110% will be here to see that plan through. So if you're going through a tough time, keep your faith in God strong. If you're going through a tough time or see someone going through a tough time, check on your folk, man. Check on your people. Make sure they good. Because I consider myself a strong person. I was going through a time this week, and trust me, I have no problem with somebody checking on me to see if I'm good. Y'all take it easy. Y'all be blessed. Peace.
Thank you for listening to Lon Dude on Earth. We talk about all kinds of things here. The good stuff, the tough stuff, and everything in between. If you like the show, please give us a 5-star review. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, and have a blessed day.